Hi everybody. Today I would like to talk about the first time I ever worked as a background extra. It was for a big production called Watchmen and was directed by Zack Snyder. It was a DC Legends comic book that was out in the 80s, and I had never heard of it, but I was quite amazed by the set. Really cool. So the first day I went there was for a wardrobe fitting. The scene I was in apparently was in the 70s, so they had to dress me up as a 70s guy. And I had long hair at the time, and they just gave me a big belt buckle. I wore a duster and bell bottoms and fit right in. After the wardrobe fitting, when I was walking out, I kind of looked at the set a little bit before I left. And they had a massive green screen on one side that was probably 5 shipping containers high and 3 wide. It was massive. And across from it was city streets they had built. On the street they had actual road with sidewalks and curbs and signs and street lights. Like, it looked so real, and I was blown away. When I got there on the first filming day, they directed me to this tent. By the time I was ready, there had to be 300 background extras there. It was quite unbelievable. And they split us up into 5 different groups, and I was group C. It was about 9 p.m. and they called us out to set. I was with a massive group and we walked out there and it was all lit up and there was tons of different crew there, cameras set up, all the actors in their director chairs sitting there waiting to get on set, and my mind was blown. I'd never seen anything like that. It was really cool. We passed by this one area that was props and they handed everyone different signs and we had to be protesters. They put one group in one area, and beside it they put the next group. And then they kept doing that all the way around the superheroes and told us to chant and shake our fists and act like we're protesting, and that's what we had to do. And they call rolling and you'd be like yelling and whatever and screaming and, you know, I'm against the people with masks and superheroes or whatever, and then cut, and then you just kind of had to stand there and wait. And then for about 15 minutes, and then they're like, okay, get ready, and they rolled again, and we did it again. And we did this for a few hours until they told us to go back to background holding, which was the big tent where all our stuff was. So we go back there and wait. A couple hours go by and they say, okay, group C, come with us. And I was like, oh, okay. So they took just our group and we brought out to set. And because the cameras were pointed just at our group and we had to be behind this owl ship that was hanging from a crane. And it was more of a close-up of the actual actor talking. So we had to chant and we had to shake our fists and protest, but quietly. They told us to not make any noise, just do it like we're actually yelling, but don't say anything because they want to get the dialogue from the actors. So that was something new to me too. I'd never seen anything like that. I didn't know. Now when I watch big movies like that, I know, oh, they're probably not making any noise. It was hilarious. So we went back to our tent and to our stuff, and then they called lunch. They called each group. I found out a big group like that, it's called a cattle call, which I didn't know. And you get in line, it was like a buffet kind of style that had pasta with red sauce and Caesar salad, garlic bread, drinking boxes. And that was the food they gave you. And it was delicious. I had no complaints. Went back to my seat, finished my lunch, waited for about an hour. By this time, it's like 2:30 in the morning, and they call us back out to set. We go back out to set and they lead us group by group and set us all up, and we had protest again and we did it again till probably 5 in the morning, and it was quite chilly. The first night we were there, I mean, this is Vancouver, Canada, so it isn't as cold as the rest of Canada, but it was getting down there. And I was so amped up and so amazed by this, I wasn't even tired. It was 5 a.m. Unreal. So we go give back the wardrobe, change back to our street clothes, and then head home. We had to be back at 5 p.m. that night again. So there was 3 nights of this, and I had met a lot of really cool people on that set. People had worked in background for a long time, and they also did jobs called production assistant, which I had no idea what that was. But in future videos, I'll tell you all about it because I ended up becoming a production assistant. There isn't much more to tell as far as the set goes. I can only show you the pictures I found online. I combed through all of the video that I could, and I could not find myself because there was so many background in the scene I was in. Even if you saw me, you probably saw just part of me because there was like literally 50, 60 people really close around me. Very different than pandemic times. Back then there was no social distancing, so, you know, everyone could stand like really close. So after that, I worked as a production assistant and background for several years in film, and wrote a book, actually. When I first got sick with multiple sclerosis, I couldn't work on set anymore, and I couldn't do this kind of work. So I took the 10 years I had of knowledge and compiled it into a book called Am I the Idiot on Set? Set Ready. This book is tiny and gives you probably about a couple months worth of information and knowledge within a half-hour read. It really helps out because when I first got there, I didn't know what to do and what not to do. I didn't know the terminology. It took me a while, but I wrote it because I know what it feels like to be the idiot. I know what it feels like to screw up a shot and not mean to. Anyway, thank you everyone for joining me, and till next time, take care.